What is up, guys? I'm Cassie from Acre by Books, and today I'm here to do a giant wrap-up. I haven't done a wrap-up since August of 2016, which was a while ago. So this is going to be my September, October, no, is that right? September, October, November, December. Oh my gosh, a 4-month wrap-up. That is ridiculous. So in September of last year, I went to New York City and Washington, D.C., and I hit a huge slump. So I didn't really read very much between then and the end of the year, which is why I didn't really do any wrap-ups. But I asked online, on Twitter, to see if people still wanted to see a wrap-up, and they said yes. So that's what I'm going to do today. The first book I read in September is The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. This follows our main character, Meadow. In this world, the murder rate is higher than the birth rate. So basically what happens is that people get murdered all the time, a lot quicker than people are being born. Sort of like as a population control kind of thing. And this girl, Meadow, has been trained to kill her whole life, and she has to fight her way onto this train to go get a job, and it kind of unravels from there. This book was a super interesting premise. I haven't read a lot of dystopian lately, so this was kind of put me right back into the world again, and I really enjoyed it. At first I gave it 5 stars, and once I kind of thought about it, I gave it more of a 4-star rating. I still really enjoyed it. I really liked Meadow as the main character. Some of the things that went down just kind of like blew my mind. This is only a duology, so I'm definitely gonna have to finish up this duology this year. After that, I read Bird Box by Joss Malerman. I have talked about this book multiple times on my channel. This is such an interesting book. This follows our main character, Mallory, and in this world that she lives in, well, it's basically just America, and there's this scene going around outside, or I guess it could be inside, just kind of depending. Most of the time it's outside, so if you go outside you have to basically blindfold yourself or close your eyes, because if you see this thing, it makes you go crazy and you kill yourself or you kill other people. So all these people are dying, a lot of people are dead, and people can't go anywhere because they're so scared of this thing that is making you go crazy. So this follows our main character, Mallory, who has 2 kids, and it starts off with her guiding her kids down this river to get to this safe place. And of course, to go outside you have to be blindfolded. So how do you get from point A to point B when you're blindfolded and you don't know where you're going? You have to rely on your other senses, and it's so interesting because she trains her children to rely on her other senses, and that's just so mind-blowing to me. The end I was very disappointed in, but if you are in for like a thriller suspense, I would highly recommend this book. I gave Bird Box 4 out of 5 stars. That is all I read in September. Now we'll go into the one book that I read in October. The one book that I read in October was The Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a super hyped up book here on BookTube. It follows a cast of characters on a heist. That's basically all you need to know. I did enjoy this book, but I was disappointed in it. I felt like there's a little too much hype around it, but at the same time, I read this during a slump, so maybe that's why I didn't like it as much. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars, because I did enjoy the story for the most part, but the first half of the book was so slow. I was so bored. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this. The second half really picked up and things really started to get going, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it just kind of disappointed me, and I really think that's because I was in a slump, and I shouldn't force myself to read when I don't want to read, which is, I think, the problem with this. So I don't know if I'm going to finish the duology. Maybe I'll reread this one at one point and see if I get into it more. I'm not sure. Then in November, I started off with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. Of course, I wanted to read this so I can get ready for the movie. This is just a super small, I think it's like less than 100 pages. If you don't know already, this is basically a textbook in the Harry Potter world written by Newt Scamander, and it just kind of goes over all sorts of different beasts, just a whole bunch of creatures that are in the Harry Potter world, and it was kind of cool, but, you know, I mean, I don't know, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It was just kind of meh. And after that, I read Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. I have had this book on my TBR for a super long time, and I finally decided to pick it up in November, I think it was, and I really enjoyed the book. It follows our main character, Emma, who has a boyfriend. She's gonna move in with her boyfriend. Things are going awesome. She is going to this business meeting, and it just bombs. Her boss finally says, you know what, go ahead, I'll let you take care of this business meeting for me, and it just did not go well. So on her way back to where she's from, where she lives, she's on a plane ride, and it's super turbulency, and she thinks that she's gonna die. She thinks the plane is going down, so she just starts blubbering all of her secrets to this man she sits next to. Turns out that man is actually the CEO at her company, so he knows all of her secrets. How awkward. I thought this book was really fun. This is my first Sophie Kinsella adult novel that I've read. I did read Finding Audrey, I think it's called. I think in 2015 I read it. And I really like Sophie Kinsella's work. I will continue to read her novels. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It was a very fun, fluffy read. Remember, I read 3 things, 2 graphic novels, and 1 work of poetry. I have everything on my fancy Amazon Fire reading thing. The first graphic novel I read was Faith by Judy Hauser. This is a really, really fun graphic novel. I've only read the first one. I'm not sure how many are in the series. This follows an overweight superhero named Faith, who's just kick-ass, and she doesn't let anyone give her shit, and it's awesome. She's a kick-ass character. I will definitely have to continue with this series because she was awesome, representing us bigger girls out there. High five. I gave this graphic novel 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I read Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. Sorry, I totally butchered that name. I've never read a manga before, so in December I've decided to pick up my very first manga. Full Metal Alchemist is about 2 brothers who are alchemists. One of them is completely made of like armor and his soul is trapped inside because of a curse they tried to do. Then the other boy, half of him is made out of metal, so it's super cool, super interesting. They were very kick-ass characters. This is my very first manga, so it kind of took me a while to get into. But I would say if you've never read a manga before, this is probably a good way for you to start. And I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. And after that, I read The Princess Saves Herself in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This poetry collection is divided into 4 parts. We have The Princess, the Damsel, the Queen, and You. And it is a very, I'm usually not a poetry person, but a couple poems really stuck out to me in this, and I really, really appreciated that. I am not very well versed when it comes to poetry, so this is only my second poetry collection I've ever read, and this one I felt like I got more out of my last one, which I don't even remember what I read. My bad. But if you're looking for something heartfelt that really came from deep inside and can help you feel empowered at the same time, it makes you feel empowered, it makes you feel sad, it makes you feel all the things, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this poetry collection because I absolutely loved it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. If you read any of these books, let me know down below and tell me what you thought. What were some of your favorite reads of 2016? I would love to know, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!